Before 1948, when the welfare state was established, the able-bodied poor were sent to the workhouse and made to labour for their bed and board. Today there's a maze of benefits: income support, incapacity allowance, job seekers allowance, housing benefits. The list goes on and on. It can net a family of four 200 quid a week or more, plus rent-free accommodation. The tabloids are full of tales of scroungers and so-called baby farmers milking the system. So let's ask this: do benefits encourage sponging? Well, Linda Holroyd, you live on an estate. You've got a job, haven't you?
Yes, I do.
In working textiles?
Yes, very low paid.
Right, how much do you get?
About £250 a week on top.
Okay, so per annum, what we...
About 13,000, if
okay.
that.
And do you see people on your estate who are, you know, to put it bluntly, scroungers, spongers?
Not everybody's a sponger.
But you see some people?
There's a lot of people out there who milk the benefit system for as much as they can get. They seem to have a lot of holidays a year abroad. They seem to have 42-inch colour televisions, something I can't afford to buy. They seem to have a new car every now and then.
Where do you think they get the money from?
Well, you tell me, Nicky, because if I knew how to do it, I would do it myself.
Do you think... do you sometimes think, what's the point of working if I can get so much money on benefits?
Yes, I do. Because, like I say, it's a low-paid job. People who are on benefits seem to get a lot of... They get the housing free. I have to pay my rent. They get the council tax paid. I have to pay mine. And it doesn't matter if I work a week and earn £250 or I might only earn £180. I've still to pay the same rent. And I've still to pay the same council tax and all my bills, and yet other people are getting theirs paid for them and they're not working, they're not getting out of bed in the morning.
And they get the trainers and they've got the Sky Dish and all that stuff. Is it true? All that stuff? It's a kind of...
Yes, I do think it's true.
You've seen it?
I've seen it all the time, yes.
Yeah. Douglas Murray, what's gone wrong with the welfare state, if that's the case? Are there scroungers?
Well, there are scroungers, certainly. I mean, it's not just the papers that are full of them, as the lady there says. Lots of people have seen these people in their own lives. I mean, nobody disagrees, I think, about the importance of there being a welfare system which is there to support people. It was set up to do this, and it's a terrific thing we have in this country, but it was set up to be a safety net, that if you fell, if you became unemployed, if your life went badly wrong, it was something to catch you. That's a very, very important thing in our society. But something has happened in the last 60 years, and it's turned from being a safety net into a kind of safety blanket, in which some people spend their whole lives supported by the state, never have to work, their parents maybe never worked, and it's not that they don't want to work, it's just that the welfare, the blanket system, encourages them to think that they don't have to go out there, and they shouldn't be looking that hard, and it comforts them, cosets them. We're creating a society which is not just physically, but morally obese.
And are the feckless, indolent, to use another old-fashioned word, people who are scrounging? What do you... Colette, you try and get people back into work. Yeah. There are an awful lot of people on the take, aren't there?
Well, I don't agree with that statement at all. The majority of people that are on benefits have been in work and contributed to the system. As I say, I don't disagree with your point that there needs to be a safety net. I think you're confusing the benefit system with discussion around money. Benefits rates aren't generous at all. I'm sure there are plenty of people here who will back me up on this. I don't disagree with Linda's experience, but I don't think these people are on benefits. I've worked in this sector for at least 11 years plus, and that's not the experience of people that are on benefits.
Is it a lifestyle? It's a lifestyle choice for some people.
It's not a lifestyle choice. People don't choose to be unemployed. They don't want to be unemployed. They certainly don't want to be living on a low income. But the system is set up in a way that disadvantages people, and it compounds their issues by the loss of confidence,
the Karen Matthews case was a year ago. Is that, I'm not talking about the terrible things that she did, kidnapping her daughter, but is that lifestyle not typical?
No, it's not typical at all. I think it's a very kind of lazy tabloid, journalism way of approaching the situation. Yes, there are people that are on income support, and there's a raft of welfare reforms that will change those situations. People don't want to be, not contributing to society, but actually the loss of confidence that's associated with those types of systems can compound their problems and lead to entrenched worklessness.
The global numbers are absolutely terrifying here. I looked these up last night. Somewhere around 2.5 million people are on incapacity benefit. We're talking about moving towards 1 in 10 adults saying that they are so sick and disabled they cannot work.
A lot of people have been in work.
This is an implausibly large number of people. Going back to the point that Douglas was making, I've got no doubt some people will fall on hard times for a short period of time, but the idea that we're moving towards, I mean, since the 1970s, the number of people who are apparently incapable of working because of illness has gone up by a factor of 4. It's as if some plague has hit the United Kingdom that has gone unnoticed by the media. This is an absolutely staggering number of people. It is far too high.
A lady beside you, you've been dying to come in. I want to get Colette's answer to that, but make your point brief if you could.
Briefly, prior to the stroke in 2002, I worked in a post office. 95% of my day I was paying out benefits. I thought when you required it, and you've paid in nearly all your life, it paid you out. How wrong we were. I had to go, I was assessed in the hospital. When I eventually came home, the mobility part is obvious. The personal care is not. And I had to go to appeal to get...
So it was really, that's interesting, it was really, really tough. And I know you've been out of work for how long?
4.5 years.
It is not easy. No. How do they do it? I had to sit through an interview with a gentleman in my own home who I'd never met before. I did ask for a lady, and explain what my personal requirements were.
Exactly, really tough. And Jim, what was your situation?
Basically, when I left...
Sorry, Michael, I got your name wrong.
My last job in 2005. I think what's happening is, going back to what this lady says.
You've been out of work for 4.5 years, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you been offered work?
No. I've chased work, and I've done everything that I'm supposed to do, and currently working with...
So you told me earlier on you had been offered jobs?
Yes.
Right, okay, so you have been offered jobs?
Yeah, I have been offered...
Okay, why didn't you take them?
Various reasons, really. I think one of the
Because it wasn't what you wanted to do?
Yeah, it was the personal reasons, the prestige, maybe the job. I felt the job was too... wasn't...
for you?
For me, yeah.
Well, I mean, I was speaking to Mick earlier. He's obviously a bright bloke. As far as I can see, he's able-bodied. We've got to get away from this view that you've got to hang around for your ideal choice. There are many things I'd love to do in my life.
He wants to be a landscape gardener.
Well, good luck. And, you know, I hope that you're being helped with training and support and getting into it. I mean, I'd like to be the England centre-forward, but failing that, I'm probably not going to make that. I'm going to have to do other areas of work which perhaps are not ideal or optimum for me. But if you're capable of working, we've got to have as a starting point that the overwhelming majority of adults in this country surely are capable of looking after themselves. The overwhelming majority.
Okay, James.
I think in answer to your question earlier on, where do people get the money from, I mean, it's easy to blame the benefit system, but in fact you'll probably find if you ask these people, it's from very, very high levels of debt. And that's driven by an entirely separate process of sort of overconfidence in consumerism and people comparing each other and so forth. I'd just like to reiterate some of the points in that I'm assuming that your job's actually quite stable. A lot of the people who come
No, my job is not stable. Nobody's job is stable these days.
Yeah, whether you're a textile worker,
I'm a textile worker.
or a
Everything
merchant
gets made
banker.
abroad.
There ain't no such thing as... There are lots of hands up. Can I...
Sorry, the point I want to make is that a lot of the times you say there's disincentives about benefit. It's actually the transition into and out of work. So people go into work, but they know that that job may be gone, and then once they're out of that job, they're immediately into a spiral of debt, which would be irresponsible to get into if you have a family.
Yeah, okay, and hands up, yes. What would you like to say right in the middle there, quickly?
Yes, I think the problem is two-sided. Why government pay benefit and why individuals receive benefits? I think on government side we need more regulation, more control. And on individual, we have to change our lifestyle and, for example, use more moderation. I mean, right now that we are talking, there are 2 million unemployed, and at the same time we have 500 job vacancies nobody is there to get. So we need to have a change of lifestyle and have
people have to cut their cloth.
Understand the value of work.
Yes, go on.
I think we're in danger of being very negative about the country that we live in. I think we live in a really brilliant country. We need to be very proud of our country. And one of the good things that we've got is the welfare state. You know, that's one of the benefits in living in such a good country that we live in now. You know, I don't think. Surely, I think there's an incredible negativity going round the audience here.